So let me ask you this. Have you ever opened a valve box and found a surprise? Maybe some muddy water, a stuck valve, or even something squishy you'd rather not talk about? That's what happens when filters are doing too little or worse, not there at all. I'm Dr. Denise DeBusk, and in this presentation, we're diving into the unsung heroes of the irrigation world, filters. We'll talk about when you need them, what types are out there, how to clean and maintain them, and most importantly, how to keep your system running like it's supposed to. You might not see them working, but when filters fail, your whole system feels it. Here's the thing about irrigation water. It's not always pristine. After a heavy storm, debris gets churned up from ponds and lakes. In reclaimed water, you might see gunk like algae or even organic matter, especially if you're at the tail end of the system. So filters are our first line of defense. They keep the little stuff like sediment, sludge, and even frogs from clogging your nozzles, valves, and emitters. It's basically your insurance policy for keeping the system working smoothly. Let's break it down. There are two big players in the filter world. Screen filters, think of these like a fine mesh strainer. Water flows through a nylon or stainless steel screen and traps debris. These are great for inorganic stuff like sand or small particles. Disc filters. These are stacked rings with grooves that form a winding path. Water travels through the maze and junk gets stuck along the way. These are better for organic matter and go longer between cleanings because they have more surface area. Both have their place. It really depends on what your water source is throwing at you. Screen filters are probably the most recognizable type you'll run into. Inside there's a mesh screen, either nylon or stainless steel, that traps debris as water passes through. You'll find them in a few different configurations depending on how they're installed and how you plan to maintain them. Y filters, spelled W-Y-E but sounds like the letter Y, are super common. They're shaped like a Y and have a flush cap on the bottom, making them easy to clean out. T filters are installed horizontally, like a capital T, with water entering from the side and exiting out of the top or bottom. They're more compact and good for tight spaces. Basket filters are larger and used in commercial setups. The screen sits like a basket inside the body, easy to pull out and rinse. Screen filters are best for inorganic debris like sand, grit, or tiny rust particles, anything that doesn't break down. And a quick pro tip. Stainless steel screens may cost more up front, but they're easier to clean and last a lot longer than nylon ones. Now, disc filters are built a little differently. Inside, they've got a stack of flexible grooved plastic discs. When water flows through, it's forced into a spiral path, and debris gets trapped in those grooves. These are especially useful for organic matter, algae, plant bits, or that mystery sludge you find in pond water. They have more surface area than screen filters, so they can go longer between cleanings. And when you do need to clean them, you just pop the stack out and rinse. I like disc filters for drip irrigation and reclaimed water systems. They're tough and less likely to clog unexpectedly. Disc filters are made in a T or Y configuration. You might be surprised where filters hide in your system. You'll find them right after the pump or water source, on zone valves, especially for drip systems, and even inside sprinkler heads and rotor assemblies. Basically, wherever there's a chance for gunk to sneak in and clog something, there's probably a filter doing quiet work. Here's the truth. Filters only protect your system if you maintain them. So how do you know it's time? Look for pressure drops after the filter, uneven spray patterns, and if your emitters are constantly clogging, the filter's probably overdue. Schedule regular checks, especially during peak watering season, and always flush filters after a big storm or when switching to a new water source. If you wait until there's a problem, it's already too late, and you're left cleaning out sprinkler heads one by one. Flushing and cleaning are not the same thing, and it's important to know the difference. Flushing means opening the filter's bottom valve and let dirty water and debris wash out. It's quick, easy, and should be done weekly during heavy use. Cleaning, on the other hand, means taking the filter apart and scrubbing or soaking the components. That's more thorough, and it's needed when flushing just isn't cutting it. If you're not sure which to do, take a look inside. If the screen or disc stack is covered in gunk or algae, it's time for a proper cleaning. Okay, now let's talk flushing. Most filters have a flush valve at the bottom. The goal is to remove all that collected debris without taking the whole thing apart. Here's a quick cheat sheet. Open the flush valve slowly, especially if you're on pressurized water. Let it run until you see clear water. Reopen downstream valves gently, no flooding the valve box. Bonus tip: if you're working on a zone valve, grab a service buddy. It's a handy tool that lets you flush without making a mess in the valve box. Flushing is great, but sometimes your filter needs a deeper clean. For screen filters, remove the cartridge, rinse it off with a strong hose blast, and if needed, use a brush to loosen debris. For stubborn organic matter like algae or sludge, you may need to soak it. Stainless steel screens are easier to clean and last longer than nylon ones. So if you're replacing or upgrading, go stainless. Cleaning a disc filter is pretty straightforward, but don't rush it. First, turn off the water and relieve pressure. Then take the housing apart and remove the disc stack. Give it a good rinse, then gently scrub with a brush if needed. If you're dealing with algae or hard water deposits, soak the discs in a mild cleaning solution, bleach for organic material, vinegar for mineral buildup. Just be sure to rinse everything thoroughly before reassembling. Any leftover cleaner can damage plants or clog emitters down the line. And here's my tip: do this somewhere where you don't mind getting wet. Cleaning solutions can be strong stuff, so don't take shortcuts. Always work outdoors, wear gloves, and never mix chemicals. Stir gently and rinse everything thoroughly before reinstalling. You don't want leftover bleach in your irrigation lines, trust me. If you take anything from today, let it be this: keep an eye on pressure drops. That's your first clue a filter needs attention. Flush regularly, especially during high demand months. And always be consistent. A clean filter means a longer lasting system and fewer surprise repairs. It's not the flashiest part of irrigation, but filters quietly keep the whole show running.